Is remove the toxic people in your life wholly good advice? Well, no, I wouldn't say it's wholly good advice, because no single piece of advice could be considered as wholly good, except perhaps for tell the truth. I think that one might be outside that rule of thumb. It depends very much on what you mean by toxic, and also who's doing the judgment with regards to toxicity. My sense is that you should surround yourself with people who genuinely want the best for you, or perhaps more specifically, genuinely want the best for the best part of you. And if the people around you are not supporting you in your endeavors, and they put you down, and they punish you for your virtues, or even punish you too intensely for your faults, and fail to reward you when you're doing what you should be doing, and fail to engage in reciprocal interactions, that there comes a point where you would be better off finding someone who is actually on your side. And that can even be the case with family members, although, of course, that's a very difficult decision to make. But sometimes people do have the misfortune of being tangled up with family members who are operating in a manner that's so counterproductive to their health that it's better for them, despite the pain, to cease communication with them. And sometimes, paradoxically enough, that can also facilitate communication, because sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand before people are willing to undergo the serious self-consideration that would precede any real transformation. So, but I would say, even if you don't like the idea of removing the toxic people in your life, you should certainly endeavor to surround yourself with the sorts of people that you would want to surround someone that you regarded as your friend or loved one. So you need to extend the same courtesy to yourself, especially to the part of yourself that's striving upward, that you would to someone that you cared for. So okay. What do I think of the phrase diversity is our strength? Well, I think it's a slogan, and the word slogan is derived from the Welsh, two words, sluag, S-L-U-A-G-H, and gairm, G-H-A-I-R-M. And sluag gairm is the battle cry of the dead. So the problem with that sort of slogan is that it replaces independent thought, and it's certainly possible that, quote, diversity is a strength, end quote. But the question is, what the hell do you mean by diversity? And if the idea is that diverse modes of approaching situations necessarily emerge because you've gathered people together who are different in whatever group identity marker happens to be the privileged one at the moment, to use the postmodernist language, there's no indication whatsoever that that's going to produce diversity of strategic plan, for example. So it's an empty phrase, and it's a dangerous phrase, because diversity can be a weakness just as much as it can be a strength. So, I think it's a slogan, and I don't like slogans very much. So, do you have any practical advice?
It's still on. It's just the camera turned off for some reason.
Do you have any practical advice? It's still on audio?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I have all this new technology here, guys, and sorry about that. We're still working out the bugs. I bought new cameras and new lighting and all of that, and it does strange things that we don't understand yet. And so it looks like I'm back on. So, do you have any practical advice on how I can improve my ability to concentrate and pay attention to the world around me? Well, I have some practical advice for that. The first piece of practical advice, often the devil's in the details, but often some practical advice is, well, regulate your habits. Try to get up at approximately the same time each morning. I would recommend that you get up approximately when other people get up. So that would be something in the neighborhood of 7:30 or 8 in the morning, or perhaps earlier, or perhaps a little bit later, but you want to stabilize that, because your circadian rhythms operate more, fluidly, And your mood is likely to be regulated better if there's islands of stability in your daily routines.